Hi everyone, welcome into the Division 1B hurling review. There's only one place to start, I suppose, in this one, and that is the Waterford versus Kilkenny game that happened in Nolan Park at the weekend. Very, very competitive game for a large part of it, and then Kilkenny ultimately kind of pulled out and won by 6 in the end as well, kind of going against the form slightly. I think people were talking about Waterford as this kind of like unrelenting kind of machine at the moment, but it just showed a little bit that maybe they're not quite as far as what people thought maybe, and that the panel depth isn't as great as people hoped, I think, for Waterford. So yeah, no, I think, look, this was a hugely impressive game by Kilkenny, and that they particularly in the half back line as well, that they just seem to dominate it. That, look, David Blanchfield man of the match again. Richie Reid slotted into half back really, really well, and Mikey Carey's energy, and that was kind of the line in which they just kind of set the template for as well. Interestingly as well, they continued with this tactic of playing the three midfielders, where Keane Kenny's energy in midfield, Killian Buckley was playing in there as well, brings a bit of size, and Alan Murphy as well. So they kind of Buckley was the one that was kind of linking the half forward line in midfield, and yeah, no, he played very, very effectively, and that just seems to be the template to how they're going to play this year as well. Big positives in Kilkenny as well, getting Owen Cody back, who looked very, very sharp. He got that bit of rest after the All-Ireland run, and look, came back in and scored two really good points as well. The other big positive as well, Mikey Butler on Desi Hutchinson, and yeah, look, he absolutely won that battle, and look, Desi Hutchinson got two scores, but no, Mikey Butler absolutely kind of won that battle as well. He later had to go off for a head high hit after DJ Foran caught him in what was undoubtedly a red. So yeah, no, but I think Kilkenny will be delighted with how they're going. Hugh Lawler's still dominant at centre, at fullback, and then yeah, and look, Porg Walsh at centre forward looks a revelation. He just never misses. So yeah, fully deserving for Kilkenny in a really entertaining game as well, particularly the first half as well. Really competitive, physical, hooks and everything, blocks, everything. So yeah, it was that was a good game, and yeah, look, I think that probably the two best teams throughout the league in Kilkenny and Waterford getting through is probably a fair reflection on how the league's gone so far as well. Then moving on, Dublin versus Laois. Dublin going into the day would have known that a Waterford win and a win for themselves would have got them into the semi-finals. Unfortunately, results from them didn't go their way, but look, they did their job in Laois, and yeah, they won quite comfortably, I suppose, in the end, 231 to 124, and yeah, it was a good performance, considering that they gave a bit of rest to some key players like Danny Sutcliffe, Ronan Hayes, Conor Burton start. So yeah, that's a it was a positive result for Dublin, and I suppose this was a curtain raiser for the Laois game coming up. So I think in a way didn't want to give too much away, and look, Laois kind of did a bit of that as well, in that like Peaky Maher didn't play as well, and there was other key players that just weren't involved on the day. So yeah, I think a bit of shadow boxing for both teams going on, but yeah, no, a strong performance, I think, from Dublin, who, look, the big kind of takeaway, I suppose, for them is Fergal Whiteley's best game for Dublin with 7 points from play. He's shown kind of glimpses of hard work and ability as well, but he kind of hasn't shown yet that ability to score freely at will in that full forward line. So this was a big kind of step for him as well. And the question for him is if he can bring that against the top teams and bring big tallies like that as well. So yeah, look, I think that'll be a positive for Maddie as well. And Davy Keogh around centre forward did pretty well too. Donegal Ryan got in cornerback as well. So yeah, they'll be happy enough with that. And the goal they conceded as well looked a very, very harsh call. Sean Brennan looked like he clearly kept that out and net as well. So I don't think they'll be too worried about chipping the goal too, because later on the year that won't be given. So yeah, no, positive result for Dublin, and yeah, that probably brings us on nicely, I suppose, to the Tipperary versus Antrim game, where, look, things finally start to click a bit for Tip. I know Antrim seemed to be kind of completely shell shocked after losing to Laois last week, and yeah, ultimately get dragged down into the relegation playoff in that they needed a result against Tip to try and avoid it, and look, it just never looked remotely likely when they lose by 30 points in the end. So yeah, a terrible day for Antrim, and after a league start where they pushed Dublin close, they pushed to Kilkenny, Waterford close, to finish like this is hugely disappointing for them, and Yeah, I think for Darren Gleeson that with all the work they put into the league and the amount of effort that's gone into it as well, to finish up like this is very very disappointing for them. And yeah, look, they they'll be very disappointed with how it went there at the end, and they're gonna have to pick themselves up for a game that's off now at the next weekend now, just to stay up in Division One. And look, based off their recent form in the last two games as well, that's no gimme for them as well. So look, I think it's the biggest challenge of his management career so far up in Antrim is going to be picking their bodies up from the floor there and getting them ready to go again against Offaly now in a week's time. Because if they don't go down there, all the hard work they've done, everything, it will be a step backwards for Antrim. But moving back on to Tipperary, look, I think they've been looking for goals throughout the entire league, and they finally got them here as well. Mark Keogh looked devastating in the full forward line. John McGrath 2-3 for both of them as well. So yeah, look, maybe that could be a template that they're showing there as well. Jason Ford scored 1-4 from play, 1-8 in total. And then, yeah, look, Noel McGrath pulled the strings to centre forward as well. This is just a far better performance from Tipp as well. They got another game into Jason Quigley at fullback, Craig Morgan in the corner, and yeah, look, Robert Byrne at wing back, and look, I think that all of them will start later on in the year as well. So look, the perfect kind of end to a difficult league campaign for Tipp. And yeah, look, they won't be playing any semi-finals. They've obviously no relegation issues as well. So they finish mid-table, their league's done, and that gives them 4 weeks now to prepare themselves for championship. And look, tails will be up going into that as well then. So anyway, that's a review of Division 1B, where ultimately Kilkenny and Waterford come through and Antrim head down to the relegation playoff next week.